Hi, it's the 26th of July 2018 at 4:30 p.m. Okay, this is one of these prickly subjects that we discuss on the channel, and I haven't thought this all the way through. Okay, so let's just move slowly with it. I think it's interesting. This is actually the topic that I wasn't going to cover as soon as this, because I wanted to think about it more. It occurred to me yesterday as I was riding my bicycle over town. And I keep thinking about this human, sorry, human, it, it, human nature. Yeah, sorry, it is human nature, and we often discuss human nature. And as you're all aware, I've got a whole bunch of birds and chooks. I've got chooks, magpies, pigeons, and little tiny sparrows. Okay, so I've got a whole range of bird size, and I got to thinking about this human nature, and I don't know. Somehow I skipped, and I thought, well, hang on a bit. I could describe a lot of how they carry on, as and I put them in this area. I thought, yeah, they oh, I don't know whether they criticise one another, they boss one another around, and they attack one another. That's for sure, and debate and fight and argue. And yeah, they probably don't do everything down there, but I started to think, well, yeah, this is sort of an area that we share with humans, with animals. Humans and animals share this sort of area. Yeah, and animals don't lecture, although I've been lectured by a frog, several actually. When you at night time you go chat, you take the step and then you realise you're treading on a frog. You're being told off. You're being lectured. Like you buffhead. Watch where you're walking, for God's. It's great big. Yeah, so it happens. I mean, and then, well, I mean, you know what animals are like with cats. Like, can't you give me a bit of a cuddle or something? They're peddling guilt. Yeah. No, actually, I think animals can do all of that. I think this is the animal-human domain. Up here, no animals. They can't get up there. Okay, they just. I mean, an animal doesn't explain anything to you, or inform, or talk to you, or tell you news, or crack a joke with you, or anything like that, or ask how your day's going. No, they're down at this level. As I said, look, feel free to dispute this because I haven't really thought it through. I haven't gone through and checked it and thought, oh, I'll apply this and that. I'm probably getting a bit in front of myself. But the way I see it, there's this zone, and then there's this zone. And I reckon a long, long time ago, this zone didn't exist because humans were too busy doing what they're doing today, fighting and arguing with one another and with animals. And what I've noticed with animals is, I'll say you've got a magpie, and I throw it a piece of bacon, and a chook just gets a little, comes charging down the road, and the magpie goes, stuff, out of here. Okay, now, the magpie was definitely in the right, okay? That piece of bacon, I'd thrown that magpie to that magpie. The magpie could argue or disagree. So look, that was my piece of bacon. Piss off, chook. All right, but the magpie doesn't. It just goes. And the chook eats the piece of bacon. I imagine that for a long time, humans and animals would have mimicked one another. Actually, as one little human, ran into a big human, and the big human wanted the piece of meat or whatever. Yep, the little human ran away. I'd say it would have been the same thing, because the big thing was, in their mind, I'm guessing, was survival. Okay, they wanted to survive, just as the birds outside do. They're not going to upset a chook because they got beaks coming at them or claws. It could have been fangs, whatever. Yep, they're not going to stuff around with one another. The idea is to survive. Now, some stage slowly, fists, clubs, all that gave way to another thing, conversation. And we learnt to be equally as savage with our conversation and our words as any animal can be with its fangs and what have you. But it's not like there was a sort of a clear line of the sand of changing it or one to the next. Yep, this is all changed. It was would have been a slow, progressive type of transition, and the difference. What I'm trying to drive at here is that the only difference, and again, correct me if I'm wrong with this, but the only difference between animals and humans is that a human, if that was their piece of bacon, they'll stand there and say, that was my bit, and they'll argue about it. Okay, there'll be a fight. Okay, and which has given rise to a whole host of industries. Starting right from the ambulance that comes to pick you up to the police that are involved, the hospital that and then the court system, and then jail for one party or the other, and of course psychologists to rehabilitate the inmate after they're released. So it's like a magpie just goes. It's all over. I couldn't care. But humans seem to be indignant. Now I think this is where we're at. Probably a lot of us in mgtow, we're still upset about what's happened in a lot of cases. So, but that as far when we talk about human nature, I would say most of what you experienced was animal nature, and people are copying are in the same realm as the same domain as animals. But the human nature you're talking about is your attitude to it, what's happened to it. And look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but that's just, I think that's what's, and please feel free to throw any comments you have at me, but I'd say that's what's happened. Yep. Yeah, so whereas an animal just hightailed it out of there, the human can't. No, there's particularly if it's conversation. All right. It's just words, isn't it? Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a load of bullshit if I've ever heard it. Because they will. You only got to open your gob the wrong way, and you can end up in jail. Words can hurt you, and they do. And they upset you, and they do all sorts of things. Now, the way I see it, and this is what I'm trying to promote, it sounds wrong to evade, to it's like if somebody, let's just say somebody came to you and made some preposterous comment that you just and you just almost think, no, how can I walk away from that? It's a sign of weakness, isn't it? Okay, I can see your point, but the problem is they're trying to drag you down into where humans and animals live, and the chances are if they're dragging you down, they've got this huge monster behind them. So they might look about the same size as you, but standing right behind them is a big bear, 50 times your size. And if the little one loses, the bear's going to eat you. Okay, and that's really when you put it and you stand back and look at it, that's what you're up against. In a sense, it's more dangerous than it's ever been. We think it's safe. Nothing eats us anymore. But if you look at it and you think, why is this person trying to drag me into the zone? It's almost like being dragged into the cave to be attacked by something huge in there. Right? I still maintain is yep. Look, you could well be in the right. There's no doubt about it. Yep. Blah 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 blah. But if you go there, you'll get eaten. There's a very good chance. Yep. All right. You could argue, well. But I mean, so what do? We just put up with everything. I really think the answer is just ignore it. Right? Just keep up there. I'm quite convinced that a lot of the changes that you now don't like will disappear. They'll just be seen to be frivolous and stupid, done with, just the intention of just some group of party being right. If things don't really solve a problem, they don't last. Only those things that solve a problem will last. So I don't know. It's short term. Yeah, it might be seen as not so good. Long term, I think you'll see things, particularly younger guys and girls, you'll see things doing about face, and the world will sort itself out in time, because we're humans, we're not animals. But that's the way I see it. Yeah, this human nature you're talking about, well, it could be human shared animal nature for the most part. Most of the behaviour is sort of a shared thing. The one thing that is different, and I'll say it again, is the fact that humans don't run away. They tend to stand and fight. And you've got to think about that, yeah, and that's really, yeah, stand and fight and get clobbered and get eaten by this huge bear, or do you find another way? And maybe create. I think Jay Lord said it yesterday. Create a whole parallel, parallel universe to it. Even if it's just on this channel, and you can spread, this sort of feeling to other channels. Yeah, just create a parallel, and honestly, at some point they'll give up. They'll stop all the nonsense. But for as long as you keep arguing and fighting with them, they'll keep giving you more and more nonsense. It's almost like they're sitting outside saying, "Yeah, you're another bit idiot. Come on a bit more, idiot." Yeah, and you're coming in and fighting, "Yep, idiot." Just walk away from them. Just stay up here. And they'll be sitting there by themselves. They'll follow you. I have no choice. Trust me, that'll happen. Okay, no word. I'll do another one tomorrow. So far, Alan he's got two. In two concurrent comments, he used the word the term ipso facto. Did it very nicely too. Yep, but he's a bit busy at work, so he can't go for the third yet. Okay, I shall talk to you later. Bye.